What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the Cris
And Mo.
podcast, episode 70, Takeover Wednesdays. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Whether you're at home right now, chilling, or you're at work, or you working out, whatever you're doing, hope you're having a good evening. We got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to speak on. So, without further ado, let's get to it. And we are back. Chris Lamar podcast, episode 70. Takeover Wednesdays. Ma, what's going on?
Man, not much, man. Feeling good. How you doing?
I'm feeling good, man. I can't complain, man. Had a pretty decent day at work, you know. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm cool, brother. I'm ready to get into these topics.
Man, let's do it.
All right, man. Let's talk about Giannis, man. Giannis had an Achilles injury last night.
Mm.
Uh, they was expecting the worst, but this morning is said to be more of a calf strain. Um, Bucks weren't playing that good anyway. They look like they were gonna make the play in or the playoffs because they just been playing really bad. So I don't know how this affects Giannis going forward.
Mm.
But you are the basketball correspondent. So How do you think this affects Giannis going forward?
It's gonna be pretty. I think it's gonna be pretty difficult with how close we are to the playoffs. We only got like a couple more games left until I believe Tuesday is the start of the play-in tournament. So obviously they're not gonna be in there, so they'll get at least an extra couple of days off, and probably start playing either next Saturday or Sunday. So
Mm-hmm.
it'll give them a little bit more time to rest up. But with the calf injury, it's tricky, man. You know what I mean? You don't want to kind of play around with that. Sometimes those things could take up to 2 weeks. So, they'll be, well into the playoffs, and let's say they're down, 2 games, they go into the third game, and then you get Giannis back. You got to get him reacclimated. Get him back in the flow. They obviously have been having problems on the defensive end of the side of that side of the ball ever since they
Mm-hmm.
got rid of Drew. So depending on the matchup, I'm assuming they're second. I think they're set the number 2 seed right now. The Knicks are only a game behind them. So um, right now, I think if they could stay at 2, I think they'll be okay. I think they should be able to beat whatever team is in that 7th seed. Depending, it could be the Pacers. They've been struggling with the Pacers. So if it is the Pacers, I would be a little bit worried. But at the same time, the Pacers aren't really the same team, especially ever since they traded away Buddy Hield. So they don't really have that same firepower like they used to when they were
Mm-hmm.
really dominating against the Bucks earlier in the season. So. And then obviously the Bucks were still trying to figure out everything, and Chris Middleton was kind of out of the lineup, so that obviously that probably has something to do with it as well. But I think with the Bucks, if they can continue being in the number 2 seed, even in the number 3 seed, I think they should still be okay, depending on how fast Giannis can come back. But at the same time, we've kind of seen it, man. Obviously with Kevin Durant, he had the calf injury too. He came back a little bit too early. He was out for almost 2 series with that injury, and he came back, and then we all saw what happened when he ended up tearing his Achilles. So. You kind of want to be cautious with that injury, but Giannis is he's still young. He's an athletic freak. Hopefully he can heal up pretty fast. So my main goal is I would love to see a healthy playoffs this year in the NBA. In the last couple of years we've been dealing with some injuries here and there. So hopefully he can bounce back pretty quick and not miss too much time.
How do you think this affects Giannis going forward in the future with the Bucks?
Um, as far as like anything going on with him, obviously with his main goal, he always wants to continue. He always wants to be in a winning program. As far as like he wants to have the capabilities of winning the championship every year. He said that he had that one taste. With him winning that chip against Phoenix a couple years ago. Obviously with how this season has gone for them, like obviously with them still being in the number 2-3 seed, like obviously you wouldn't think too much of it, but they've been having their struggles, especially on the defensive side. I think it's kind of an important year for them. I don't think it's like the end all be all. I think like I don't expect Giannis to ask for a trade anytime soon, but these next 2 years is going to be very important for me. As far as like what I believe is within the next 2 years, if they don't improve or if they don't have a really good shot at winning the championship, I could possibly see Giannis asking for a trade. You know what I mean? He was already kind of threatening with the trade before the Damian Lillard, before Damian Lillard got over there. And then we kind of saw the ripple effects with that. He ended up seeing Drew Holiday go to the Celtics. Now he signed an extension, with all that money. I don't even know how the Celtics get all this bread. They still got to pay Tatum. They paying Brown. You got Chris Stapps over there. So, they got the the luck of the Irish, pot of gold over there. So it's just never ending there. So, with that monster on that side of the field, you got the Knicks getting better. Embiid, if he can stay healthy, they're always viable, especially next year. They have enough money to get another superstar. Let's say hypothetically, you got the Mavs and Clippers matching up in the first round. If that doesn't really go well for the Clippers, they got a lot of questions they got to answer for themselves. They got to decide if they want to pay James Harden, pay Paul George. You already paying Kawhi Leonard. I think you already extended Kawhi Leonard. So, their money's a little tight over there too. So if the Sixers can get the capabilities of getting to Paul George, that's just another big opponent that the Bucks are going to have to worry about. You know what I mean? And the Bucks are kind of cap strapped. You know what I mean? They don't have a lot of extra bread where they can go out and get somebody else. You know what I mean? Unless if they were to trade a Chris Middleton or Bobby Portis or, Brook Lopez of that sort. But Bobby Portis is a big key to that offense and defensive side. Brook Lopez is their anchor in the middle. Obviously Chris Middleton, he is getting a little older, knee injuries and stuff like that, but he's still a prominent player. He still gets you 20 points. So, as I said, it's going to be a big couple years. But we'll see though, man, with this year, man, hopefully, he can get back healthy and, they can make a little run and, get that big series against the Celtics or Sixers, because Sixers are looking really good with Embiid back.
Do you think that with an off season with Doc Rivers that the Bucks can get better?
The thing with Doc Rivers is I'm not saying he's not a really good coach, but I think he is a little overrated in the sense that he's still living off that one championship run with the Celtics. He's had a lot of disappointing losses, losing a lot of 3-1 leads and stuff like that. Now, with them having an off season, like he'll be able to implement more of his stuff, kind of like, get the players that he wants for his system. My thing is, can they get those players? You know what I mean? Can they get those defensive minded players to help out that perimeter defense? I'm not so much worried about the inside because you got Giannis, you got Brook, you got Bobby Portis. That will always be solidified. But with Damian Lillard, he's going to be your offensive go-to perimeter player. You know what I mean? Especially in the final moments of the game. Like that ball is going to be in his hand, not Giannis. I think that's been pretty much established in its own. But he needs perimeter defensive help. Like Damian Lillard, I get, he said he thinks he can play defense, but the videotape says no. Like it just is what it is. He's not going to stop any perimeter. He's not going to stop your Jamal Murray's. He's not going to stop your Jalen Brunson's. He's not. You need help on that end. And Chris Middleton is getting older. You know what I mean? Yeah, you got Pat McConnington, but like I'm not considering him a lockdown defender. You know what I mean? Now, if they can get the likes of maybe like they can get like an Alex Caruso over there to Milwaukee, I think that will help them a lot because Alex Caruso can be a top tier perimeter defender. So they need something like that. But in the meantime, you got to pay Alex Caruso. Can they find the cap room for that? So if they can find the pieces, I think they could work because Doc Rivers, especially in the regular season, you're going to definitely going to be a top 1 or top 2 seed with Doc Rivers. Like I'm not worried about that. It's more in the playoff runs that we kind of have our own issues with, but we'll see. We'll see if they can get that cap flexibility and see if they can get a couple extra pieces to help on that defensive side of the ball.
For sure. All right, man, let's go to college football, man. ESPN put out a top 10 list of quarterbacks going into the 2024 season.
Mm-hmm.
Pull this up real quick. All right. So you have Carson Beck, Georgia quarterback. Dylan Gabriel over at Oregon. He played at Oklahoma last year. You got Quinn Evers at Texas. Jalen Milroe at Alabama. Noah Fita at Arizona. Jackson Dart at Ole Miss. Jalen Daniels at Kansas. Shador Sanders at Colorado. Cameron Rising at I want to say that's Houston or Utah. I don't know what is that. And then Cameron Ward at the Miami Hurricanes. How are you feeling about this list, sir?
So you recently made me aware of this list not too long ago, and then when I first saw this list, I was pretty damn near disgusted. Like the Cameron Ward and Shador Sanders. Hey, I do not understand. I think Shador Sanders should be at least top 2 to top 3. I get Carson Beck is getting a lot of hype. I haven't watched enough tape of him. I know he was a top prospect coming into college, so a lot of people have high expectations of him. So I'm very curious to see. I'm very curious and excited to see what he can produce. You know what I mean? Dylan Gabriel, he was cool with Oklahoma, but I'm not really the biggest fan. I think he's really small as a quarterback with his size. So I get into college, it's not going to be too much of a problem. And obviously with that Oregon offense, they're always going to be a very explosive team. Like he can throw the ball around. So, we'll see. Quinn Ewers, I think he's a decent quarterback. Obviously, they lost a couple pieces on their wide receiver on the outside. Obviously, we got to see what kind of recruits and replacements they can get for them. So I got to see what's up. And then obviously you got the Archie Manning right behind him. So, if they don't start out too strong, I'm pretty sure you're going to start hearing some rumblings of him replacing him. Jalen Milroe, obviously, I think he's a very athletic freak, but I'm not really impressed with his throwing ability. I would have Shador Sanders ahead of him. I would definitely have Cameron Ward ahead of him. I maybe even Jalen Daniels. I might even have him over him as well.
The only problem with Jalen Daniels is health. That's it.
Yeah, health, but overall he can throw the ball, man. He can sling. I get it with the health. He's kind of like on the same instance with Michael Penix. You know what I mean? So I definitely understand that. But Jalen Milroe, he can definitely be to me. He reminds me of Anthony Richardson. He has all the athletic capabilities in the world. He has the arm, but it just doesn't look right. And then obviously with that Michigan game, I get it. Michigan's defense was very top tier, but overall, Jalen Milroe, besides that big play he had at the end of the Auburn game, I'm not really impressed with his throwing ability. So I would kind of have him more towards the bottom tier of this top 10 list. I haven't seen Jackson Dart, so I can't really say anything. Noah Fafita. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. I haven't really watched enough of him to make an assessment on him, so I do apologize about that. Cameron Rising, I think he's decent. You know what I mean? I've seen him play. He's gone through some injury problems. He had that knee injury, so he missed majority of the year last year, if most of it. But I've seen him play. I think he can sling the ball. I would probably have Cameron Rising over Jalen Milroe. Honestly, I would have Jalen Milroe probably 10th. I do not know how he's number 4.
It's the Alabama thing.
Yeah, honestly, if I had to re-rank it, I would me personally, just because what I've seen, I would probably put Shador Sanders number 1. I think I've seen him be successful. I get it. His team wasn't really that good, but overall, I think me and you can agree that he's going to be a top tier quarterback in college. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If he can, he has the pieces around him. And I think Colorado got some. They got some dogs. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say the Pat McAfee shit. They got some dogs over there, man. They got some real players over there. So Colorado's gonna be better. Deion Sanders' second year, they're gonna be a better squad. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if they could get 9 to 10 wins next year. I wouldn't. So I'll probably put Shedeur Sanders 1. I'm a big Cameron Ward fan. I'll probably have him 2. I will put Carson Beck 3 just because of the expectations of him. I know he has the talent. I just got to see it. Then I'll probably do Quinn Ewers. Then I'll probably do Jalen Daniels, especially with the injury history. Then I'll probably do Dylan Gabriel. And then after that, you know, I don't know those guys to even rank them like that. But Jalen Milroy would definitely be 10th on this list.
Where is Brady Cook on this list?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, are you serious?
yeah, that's true. That's
Mizzou
true.
is viable, like, contender.
Yeah, Mizzou got a real good squad next year. Yeah, they're definitely going to have a really good shot at making the playoffs, especially with the expansion of the playoffs. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, come on now. Like,
but you know, Missouri don't get love like that. You know, they don't get love like that. Not compared to these schools. Like,
I hear you, but come on, man. If we
who
just
would you take off this list to add Brady?
Probably the dude from Arizona. I've never seen this dude play. I've never heard of him. Nobody's talked about this dude. Am I tripping?
No, I haven't seen it. I know Arizona has had explosive offenses. I just personally haven't seen him, so I can't really say anything. I don't want to say if he's bad, good. I haven't said anything. I've seen Jalen Milroy play. Tell me how he's top 10 besides his athletic freakish ability. Tell me why he's top 10. Just because he's on Bama?
Yeah. He got better as the year went on, but yeah, I would have him at the low bottom of this list.
Yeah.
I just think it's because it's the what's the name rub that he's getting that love. Who went to Notre Dame?
Oh, the kid from Duke. Why is he not on here?
Leonard? Riley Leonard, right?
Leonard. Why is he not on here? Riley Leonard is good. I like Riley Leonard. He's cool. Yeah, I don't get it. I think you clearly see this. I think you clearly see the Sanders fatigue. You know what I mean? I don't understand how he's 8th. He should at least be top 4. You know what I mean? Like, come on, what are we doing? Yeah, he went toe to toe with fucking Caleb Williams, even though both their teams weren't that good, but still.
They almost brought him back and won the game.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they went on and beat a ranked team on the road. You know what I mean? I get TCU wasn't the best. Like obviously, you know, they lost a lot of pieces after that championship contending team that they had that made it to the championship game. But you know, come on, man! Like that first game, you go in and you were able to win that type of game. Like I don't know, it says a lot to me.
Yeah, Noah FIFA had 2,869 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, 165.9 rating.
What is he, like a junior this year?
72.4 passer rating. He is, he's a junior this year.
Okay. Well, maybe they think he's gonna make a big leap or something. You know what I mean? I've never heard of Jackson Dart, so I can't really.
Let's look up the Jackson Dart dude. Jackson Dart. I've heard of him, but I didn't know if he was any good or not. But I know what's your name always has a good offense over there, Kiffin. So, where is his numbers at? Let's go to ESPN. He had 3,364 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions.
Okay, that's solid. Those are solid numbers.
Those are pretty good numbers. Brady Cook. Because, Yeah, okay. So Brady Cook, he didn't have to he had about the same numbers Jackson Dart, 3,317, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Like, what about the kid from USC who played in the bowl game? He had like 7 TDs. What about that kid? You know what I mean?
Maybe because he's a sophomore. I don't know.
Maybe, but Lincoln Riley quarterbacks, man. They always produce. You know what I'm saying? So
True.
I'm surprised he's not on here, but I get it. Maybe they haven't seen enough tape on him.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Oh well. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
All right, let me ask you this.
We'll come back to this list.
Let me ask you this: who you think will be the highest rated quarterback on this list on the new EA college football game?
I won't be surprised. Beck.
You think Beck? Some people say Shador.
I've heard Shador is supposed to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Beck is rated high, Quinn Evers is rated high, and Shador Stan Sanders. I think those three.
Yeah. No, we'll see. I'm definitely excited for that game. You're starting to hear more things about it. We're supposed to get the reveal here next month, man. So games are right around the corner, man. I'm excited.
It's supposed to come out July 15th, I think.
I'm ready to take names, bro. I'm ready to whoop ass. Anybody who wants some, let me know. I'm gonna whoop y'all with them Florida Gators, man. Gator Boys Central. You already know what's up.
I saw the black quarterback y'all got.
You'll see. I'm pretty. I said, I'm still not a fan of our coach, but we'll see what's up.
Who's y'all coach again?
I forgot his name. I think he came from like Kentucky or some shit.
Oh. All right, man. Let's go to the music, man.
Yeah.
Supposedly, this Kendrick and Drake diss records are dropping soon. Play a little clip for you. This is what Joe Budden had to say on his pod today.
So I'm going to tell you this. Get out the way. Whatever little rappy shit you thought was going on, it's not that. And something is coming. I think that J. Cole knows that from either Kendrick or Drake or both. And it was time to bow out because now we are no longer in the first round.
Main event time.
We are no longer in the first or second round of this thing. Kendrick has earned himself a bye with Cole's apology. But I think that the insiders know. Actually, I have it on good information. I have it on good information that both sides went in the booth and came out.
They're ready.
And what I'm hearing about both sides is that it's nuclear. It's up. I'm hearing this from people that can rap. So I want to come in here and say that speculation time is over. Debate time is over. I've been saying for a few pods now that I've seen absolutely nothing from Drake to get me excited enough to think that he will be capable of doing what needs to be done against the likes of a Kendrick Lamar. I'm here to say that there is no longer any need for me to instigate anything. We're here. And apparently,
Drake is
he
too.
did it. And people heard it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I hope he's... When do you think you drop it? Just curious.
I heard it. I think it's coming.
I heard
it's
coming Friday. Yeah.
I heard it's bad. Hold on, Prize Picks. I'll be right. Relations.
So, what's your thoughts on that clip, sir?
So yeah, I watched the Joe Budden episode, and I honestly I get if this is a case where J. Cole decided to bow out in the sense of like he understands what's about to come, and he doesn't want to be a part of that because he wanted to keep it just lyrical, no personal shit. He just wanted to even though some of the shit he said, it was a little personal, especially on his catalog and stuff like that. But if that's the case, then I'm not still going to say it makes sense for him for what he did. You know, obviously we spoke on Monday. I'm not going to sit here and regurgitate it again. But if Joe Budden is correct, I'm excited. I said, like, I would love to hear. I've always said I'm a big fan of J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake. I'm a fan of a lot of their music. I'm not going to be one of those type of people who's going to, you know, dick ride one side. I love all three of these gentlemen as far as their music. You know, I do. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. But if Drake can give us something to make us reignite this shit, get me excited, I'm all for it, man. I'm really all for it. I don't have a dog in this race. I just want to see something we haven't seen in a long time. And these two gentlemen, especially now that J. Cole is to the side, because obviously, you know, he's boys with Kendrick. You know, they talked about doing that duo album. He obviously he's really good boys with Drake. So obviously he doesn't want to be a part of this shit. So he stepped to the side. No matter how we feel about that and whatever, he did that. And now we got these two. We got Goku and Vegeta about to go at it. If this is the case, if we can get something like this, I'm all for it. Bring it. Let's go. You know what I mean? I have faith. I have faith in Kendrick. Like, I know, like, Joe has said that he thinks Kendrick writes at a slower pace as far as, like, putting out shit. I think Kendrick is really nice with the pen, bro. Like, I think Joe has been correct on a lot of shit. You know what I mean? But I think on this instance, I think Kendrick can definitely come out quick if he really needs to. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, we know Drake can. And obviously, if Drake can produce how we want him to, if we could get the old Drake in a sense of like what we think, what we know, what we have seen him capable of doing, if we can get that on his response, and hopefully it comes out this week. You know, I know they discussed, you know, when they think it would drop. You know what I mean? I know some of them said that if it was them, they would drop before. Some of them said they would wait till after the Future project, because obviously we're getting a new Future project. Obviously, we're kind of all expecting something to be on there as more of a dig at Drake and J. Cole, maybe. You know what I mean? But hey, man, I'm all for it, bro. I'm excited. If what Joe Budden has said, man, let's go. I want it. I think we all want it. I think we all need it. And if it goes the way that we all expect it to go, as far as like how talented these two brothers are with the pen, this could be some legendary shit, man. You know what I mean? This could be some real legendary shit, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think Kendrick called J. Cole and was like, look, man, this shit ain't about you, brother?
Obviously, like with the song, like he didn't really go. Obviously, we knew majority of those punches were towards Drake. I don't think Kendrick fucks with Drake. Me personally, I don't think he fucks with Drake. Obviously, you've seen in the interviews where he does say, I do respect his music and all that shit, but maybe something but that was a long time ago. Maybe something happened where, you know, that relationship deteriorated, because obviously they've had some songs together. But
do you think it came from sparked from the Control verse? Because I knew Drake had a little bit of an issue with that verse.
Well, we all know Drake is. Look, man, Drake is a Scorpio. He's gonna take everything personal. Like, it just is what it is.
Relax, man. I'm a Scorpio.
It is what it is, man. Come on, man. Y'all, you know, y'all could be petty, and I think y'all holding a lot of shit in. You know what I mean? And I think with how Drake views himself and how a lot of people view Drake, you know, a lot of people view him as the man ascending on the throne. Like, if we're gonna go Game of Thrones style, he's that person. He's a Lannister at this point. You know what I mean? In the beginning of the show, he's the Lannister. He's the king of all kings. You know, from what people would say. So now you got this Jon Snow coming for the throne. You know, you got, you know what I mean? You got that, and we all know what Jon Snow is capable of. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen it, you know? So at this point, Kendrick Lamar is Drake's biggest threat to the throne. So I think if on the Control verse, yeah, I think he gonna pay attention, because he knows what kind of man who's holding that sword. He knows what the capabilities of this man. You know what I mean? Like, as I said, this is Goku versus Vegeta. You know what I mean? Now, whichever one is whichever one, like, that's on you. But at the end of the day, excuse me, hey man, just give us what we want. Give us a competitive battle. And whoever wins is gonna be winning. You know what I mean? Now, I know they kind of also said some shit where they were like, yo, man, these two rappers might come out looking different after this shit. You know what I mean? We may not view these two cats the same. But I think we all can appreciate, like, I think the true music heads who are very level-headed with this shit would understand the impact of this shit and appreciate both gentlemen for participating in such an event. This is the Super Bowl for hip-hop right now. This is, you know what I mean? This is the Mayweather Canelo. This is that, you know what I mean? This is that fight. This is that Errol Spence Terrence Crawford shit before we saw what happened. But this is that. The expectations that we are waiting for between these two gentlemen, because we know what the fuck they can do. Like, you know what I mean? This is it. Now will we get a one-sided battle? Now, is this gonna be a Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence type of situation where one just dominates and suffocates the other one so bad that it's like, yo, we got to throw in the towel. We feel bad for this motherfucker. Or are we going to get a Hagler Hearns? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see.
What we going to get?
We'll see. You know, I'm more partial to Kendrick Lamar. So
you signing with Kendrick? So, like, obviously, you know, they kind of did it on the pod. So I'm going to do it with you. Obviously, we expect this to go multiple rounds. This ain't gonna end anytime soon.
Well, they said
who do you got winning
too?
Yeah. After the J. Cole shit, he got easy too. You can even say 3 with how quick homie just apologized to the shit. I ain't never seen no shit like that before. But next round, who do you think wins the next round? You got Drake or do you got Kendrick?
I got Kendrick. But here's the thing: if they both come out with 2 dope tracks, each fan base is gonna say that side won.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it's gonna go. I think even if, let's say, Drake's disc is like very commercialized, like a back-to-back, which I don't think it's gonna be. I think he's gonna do more towards the 8 a.m. in Toronto type deal, or, you know, whatever, 8 a.m. Calabasas type deal feel. You know what I'm saying? I think he's gonna go with that flow. But if it's got, I think if one has the more commercial beat to it, like you could play it in the club, the masses is gonna say, like, if Drake comes in with a back-to-back type beat, then that you could play that in the club, they're gonna say Drake won. His fan base is going to be like, oh, it was commercial. You could play this in the club. Because I always hate this argument. When are you going to play this song when you going to run this song back? When do you ever run back diss songs? Like, when do you sit around listening to diss songs? You got to be in the mood for a diss song, right?
Not like that. Like that.
Well,
that gets played.
But like that gets played because Future comes in with the commercial bop. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just straight Future dissing and what's the name? It was like they kind of hid the diss. Like the diss came out of nowhere. You know
but I'm gonna say this. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm gonna say this though. I think with that like that track and it being a jam, like a club radio, this shit playing in the strip clubs, this shit's playing in the clubs, this shit's bumping in your car, this shit's at the picnic, on the Domino's table, all that shit. And for it to be number 1 3 weeks in a row, with the likes of a Beyonce album out and so forth, this shit. And then the accessibility of this track, I think it helps it a lot.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I think that helps it a
course.
lot. So because you can't escape it. You can't escape it. Like that track is gonna be played everywhere. Whether it's the radio, it's gonna be on the top of any playlist on the, iTunes or Apple Music or Spotify. You go to strip club throwing ones, it's gonna get played. You at a graduation, it's going to get played. House party, it's going to get played. Like
I agree, because unlike, even though we both agree, Pusha T slapped him around on story added on. Like, you can say what you want, fans, all you Drake fans out there, Pusha T slapped him around. He shredded that man and made him announce his child. Like, it don't get no more personal than that.
He made him called LeBron James.
Yeah, correct.
Like, come on.
But unlike that song, you know what I'm saying, unless you're because he rapped over the Jay-Z beat, the old story of OJ. Kendrick was smart to jump on the Metro Boomin beat with a Future. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the Future's verse going first helped it out because the conditions the crowd to dance. You know what I'm saying? Like, you in the club, everybody's gonna do Future's verse first because, you know, it's got a bop to it. You know what I'm saying? Even when it pumps on the whistle and, you know, all the stuff the Future does. And then it was just like the hook is hard. You know what I'm saying? So you in the club doing the hook, whatever, with your peoples or whatever, and then Kendrick verse just comes on out of nowhere. You're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And that's what made the verse so dope to me, was that it was perfect. You know what I'm saying? Because they kind of like, it was kind of like they hit it. It was like, yeah, we're gonna condition you with this Future verse, and then we're gonna hit you hard with this Kendrick, because the beat is already hard on his own. You know what I'm saying? So it was a perfect blend of Future bringing the commercial stuff, Metro Boomin putting his ankles and feet in that damn beat, and then Kendrick just laying the verse to just be like, get your attention, like, hey, because it was warning shots. That's what they were. It was warning shots.
So what is your expectation with this Drake track? Do you think we're gonna get something?
He's gonna get personal. I wouldn't be surprised if it's some pillow talking shit. You know he's gonna mention something.
Do you think it's gonna be to the quality and standard that you would be like, I'll fuck with this?
I hope so. If Joe is bigging it up like this, I hope so.
I don't think Joe has heard it. I think whoever told him has heard that shit.
But if he's saying there's people that can rap heard this. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's rappers telling you, hey, nah, this is that shit right here, bro. Like, but he about to drop a bomb on Kendrick. Then I expect lyrical Drake. I expect him to come out bombing and being petty Drake. The best Drake to me is petty Drake.
So I'm gonna ask you, if you're Drake, when do you put this out? Do you put this out the same time Future's album comes out? Do you wait till after, like at 3 a.m. or the next day or sometime like on a Saturday, Sunday, or do you drop before it? What would you do?
I don't know, because we don't know what Kendrick's gonna do. Is Kendrick gonna does Kendrick have another verse on this album to where it's like continuation, but now this verse is like direct? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like Joe even said it, that, you know, the rumors out that, you know, that Kendrick laid out multiple verses for this like that, and some of them he said that the rumor is that he picked the nicest one out of the couple that he did. So we shall see. We shall see.
Oh, so in that case, he probably tucked them other two in the cut. Maybe they gotta like that remix.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for this Future album because I'm very curious. Obviously, I thought the last album was really, really great. I thought it was amazing. I still bump that shit. But I'm curious to know if, because obviously with the title, We Still Don't Trust You, there has to be something else that goes at Drake. There has to be. Now, I'm just curious, is it gonna be like Future? As you said, could it be another Kendrick verse? Or could there be another party that enters the Royal Rumble and enters his name into the competition hat, like A Pusher T, like maybe somebody else? I don't know. Maybe he got, I don't know. Maybe even you never know. Maybe even Kanye even said, "Fuck it, put me in this shit, dog."
Yeah, or
maybe,
or maybe Rick Ross gives you some bars.
Maybe Rick, because obviously Drake's gonna come at a lot of motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
think so. I don't think it's just gonna be. I think he's gonna throw little. It's gonna be a Jay-Z takeover where he threw shots at Mobb Deep. You know what I'm saying? It was mostly by Mobb Deep the first two verses, and then he was like, "All right, I'm trying." That third verse was all about Nas, and then the last verse was just kind of like to the whole industry.
Definitely. Like I could definitely see. I definitely think Drake, whenever this record comes out, I could definitely see this being like a 4 or 5 minute track,
of course,
of him just going off.
But I think Kendrick's gonna do one of those kind of like Hard Part 5s where he kind of or Hard Part 4 where he kind of changed the beats up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like the beat changes or whatever. I could see Kendrick doing some shit like that.
Yeah, I could too. I could see Kendrick maybe even going a different route. You know what I mean? Especially with how much people love that track. I could see him maybe doing a little bit more, maybe more linking up with a Metro. Because I think Kendrick sounds good on some trap shit. I think he really does. You know what I mean? But we'll see, man. I think there's a chance that more parties can get involved in this shit. Obviously, with J. Cole stepping to the side, you got a lot of people out there trying to reach for another third party that can enter this. But I just think it's a two-man. This is a two-headed monster right now.
It's Kendrick. It's always been Kendrick and Drake, bro.
It's always been.
It's always been. They've been this, and for all you fans out there, we all know this ain't just happen overnight. Like this has been going on, brewing for years. Like these two have been throwing subtle shots at each other for years.
Nah, real talk. Like I know. This could be a new variation of the West Coast, East Coast shit. Obviously, with Drake, he's a global figure. Kendrick is a global figure too. But they represent their own regions, man. You know what I mean? He represents Toronto. He represents. All the West Coast gonna have Kendrick's back. All of Toronto is gonna have Drake's back. You know what I mean? And then everything else is gonna be sprinkled in. I think, you know what I mean? Like, obviously on Twitter, obviously we talked about it on Monday. I caught and saw some shit where I think a lot of people on there troll a lot on that shit. You know what I mean? As far as like how people were starting to bash Kendrick's discography, but come on, man, we all know what it's about, man. We know what he can do with that pen. We know what he can do with the words.
Ice out here in his To Pimp a Butterfly slander.
Ice is ice, bro. Like this motherfucker, some of the music that he fucking loves, I don't fuck with. I think Ish need to sit the fuck down off this shit, because I listened to him the whole episode and he just got Drake's dick all in his fucking mouth. Like bro, like come on, bro. Like respectfully, I say this respectfully, I do not want to hear any music takes from Ish. I really don't. I really don't.
I don't either.
Respect. Anything else, I love. I fuck with Ish, but nah, no music takes.
Yeah, music takes can go in the trash. All right, man. This one's gonna hit home a little bit. Talk about Rasheed Rice, man.
Stage is yours, my brother. Go for it. This man's a convicted felon.
So hold on now. He ain't no convicted felon. Relax.
Nah, I'll fuck with you.
All right. So Rasheed Rice is facing 8 charges in the case, 6 counts of collision involving bodily injury, 1 count of collision involving serious bodily injury, and 1 count of aggravated assault. According to the arrest warrant, all charges are felonies. Now, I know Josina Anderson said that Mr. Rasheed Rice intends to turn himself in. They're still going through the process of everything, but he intends to I figure he turned himself in probably in the morning. he'll probably go down there and turn himself in, get booked, all that
Mhm.
stuff. They'll bail him out, and yeah, then they'll go from there.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't know if they're gonna do it now. It will be interesting if there's gonna be a trial. I expect him to take a plea deal, to drop some of them charges down to misdemeanors.
Do some
Uh,
community service or some shit.
yeah, do some community service. Probably go on probation.
Hmm.
Um, he'll probably do some, driver, reckless driving type,
Classes or something.
classes or something. But I do think that the NFL will give him 4 to 6 games suspension.
Hmm.
Um, hey man, this is the price of when you're doing stuff stupid, man. You know what I'm saying? And like we said before when we first talked about this story, I'm just glad nobody got, you know, badly hurt, you know what I'm saying, to where they're unable to function in life or anything worse, so anybody, was murdered or killed or anything like that, hopefully it was just minor injuries to, I don't want to call them minor because, people had suffered concussions and,
Hmm.
cuts about the eyes, stuff like that, that stuff is still, pretty significant injuries. But hopefully those people get taken care of to the fullest extent financially, because that's what they're gonna ask for. But I don't think I would be surprised if Rasheed Rice, especially since this is his first offense. I don't see him doing any jail time or any prison time. I just think he'll, like I said, I think he'll get some probation or something like that, community service, pay a fine. He'll probably have to pay these people, to any damages and emotional damages and all that stuff. Probably have to come out of the pocket, and yeah, he'll probably be suspended for the first 6 games of the season.
So let me ask you, you're the Chiefs, aficionado, you know what I mean? You know it all. So what's the overall temperature with the patience level with Rasheed Rice on this amongst the Chiefs fans and
Uh,
what you think?
Most Chiefs fans are just like, it was stupid, it was
Hmm.
dumb,
Hmm.
but also, they're also part of Chiefs Kingdom where it's like, he's 23. What did I, there was some stuff I did when I was 23 that was, reckless that probably could have got me messed up. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I didn't have the money that he has. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
uh, and I'm kind of in the same mindset. Like, look, I'm like, it's like, you're watching your little brothers and you're looking at him like, what are you doing? What was he thinking? Like, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And then also you're telling them you are blessed that God, you know what I'm saying, made it to where it wasn't worse. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it could have been a lot worse, sir. You know what I'm saying? You could have really hurt some people and hurt yourself for life, ruined your life. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
You see, Henry Ruggs, his life is ruined. You know what I'm saying? So um yeah, that's how Chiefs Kingdom was looking at it. I think most Kingdom don't think that he's going to see any prison time, but they do expect him to be suspended. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I do think he will be suspended a significant amount of games, 6 games at least. You know what I'm saying?
So, what do you think this does for the Chiefs heading into the draft? Like, what do you think? Obviously, if it's correct with what you say, the 4 to 6 games, that's a big chunk of games. How do you think this affects them as far as like maybe signing another wide receiver, drafting a wide receiver? What do you think?
I think they bring in another veteran, whether it be a OBJ or a Tyler Boyd type, maybe a DJ Chark or somebody like that. I think they'll go sign one of those guys, and then they'll go wide receiver probably first 2 rounds,
Hmm.
and then I wouldn't be surprised if they pick another receiver in like the 4th or 5th round, something like that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Especially if somebody drops in those rounds. I can see them, double dipping into the wide receiver pool.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's my expectations. I think next year, if he does get suspended for the first 6 games, you're probably looking at Hollywood Brown, Travis Kelsey, and whatever veteran. you know what I'm saying, starting, and then the rookie Scott Moore, kind of battle it out for minutes, you know what I'm saying? Because they are going to keep Scott Moore. I think they're going to keep Kadarius Toney too, but because he was at the little off-season practice that all of them go to Texas and practice with Patrick Mahomes. Kadarius Toney was out there. Scott Moore has been out there. So I just think that what I'm saying. I just think they're going to sign a veteran. Though they're definitely going to sign a veteran. They're definitely going to bring in a veteran that can start opposite of Hollywood Brown. And sign, draft a rookie. Now, if the rookie can come in and beat out in training camp, you know what I'm saying? Like if we get a A.D. Mitchell or maybe a Keon Coleman or somebody like that, maybe a Lad McCrockey in the second round or something like that. And those guys come into training camp and they look really good and can push the veteran for playing minutes. I could see something like that too. So
okay, for sure.
So yeah,
prayers out to everybody involved.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. What should Errol Spence Jr. next move should be? Now he's moved up to 154. We all know that. Personally, I think he needs a tune-up fight, especially with you moving up to 154. I don't think you should be trying to go fight for no championship belts. You need to get your confidence back, sir. So maybe you need to fight one of these guys. Like there's a guy, he's not ranked, but he's up there. His name is Jacob Kelly. He's a good tester in the 154. If you want to, you could a little bit higher stakes and fight a Virgil Ortiz, who was a young prospect in the 147, but he got hurt before he was supposed to have a big fight against what's the dude named the Russian guy? I think his name Emis Stantis. He was supposed to fight him, but he got hurt, and then he ended up saying he was moving up to 154. So him and Errol Spence possibly be a fight that he's looking at. Maybe Eric and Lubin and Errol Spence would be a fight that would be interesting because Eric and Lubin is kind of like in that space where he needs a big fight. You know what I'm saying? He had his big fight. I thought he was too young. He fought Charlo. Charlo knocked him out in the first round.
Yeah.
But ever since then, he's kind of learned from that. Now he did have a fight with Fedor, and Fedor kind of beat him badly. He did knock down Fedor in like the 8th round, but he was gassed out.
Yeah.
And Fedor just beat him so bad with those, that length in those uppercuts. He messed up Erickson Lubin. But Erickson Lubin just had a fight with another guy that Errol Spence could fight, Jesse Ramos. It was kind of controversial. I kind of thought Erickson Lubin lost that fight, but that would be a good fight for Errol Spence, maybe a Jesse Ramos. Yeah, those are some of the names that I could see potentially he could fight. I don't think he would. I don't think Fedor or Zoo is going to be available because they're out with injuries. So I think they've kind of discounted themselves out until next year, possibly. And I don't want to see him versus Crawford right now. So yeah, I think those are some guys at the 154 that he could step up to and take a little tune-up fight, go in there, see how you look. You know what I'm saying? See if your mind is focused. You're a year removed from the beatdown from Terrence Crawford. So hopefully that time you didn't just try to jump back in there. So you're a year removed. So and this is a good tuner for you to take that next step.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think Errol Spence needs to kind of like strategically do this correctly. You know what I mean? I do not want to see this man's career up and get ended quick. I think he still has a couple of good years left in him. I wouldn't mind seeing him take maybe 1-2 tune-up fights. Like just get used to the weight class. You know what I mean? Like obviously with Tim Tszyu and Fedor, like they're not going to be fighting anytime this year. It looks like with their injuries. maybe what obviously we absolutely do not want to see him fight Terrence Crawford. I do think people will probably try to force that at the end of the year, especially with the Timzu and Fedora injuries. Obviously, Crawford will probably be competing for the vacant belt. Whichever fight that happens with, hopefully that'll be happening here in the next couple months. Hopefully they'll announce it soon. And then our expectations, we all expect Crawford to be holding that belt after that fight. So, I could see them maybe, if Errol Spence looks really good in his tuna fight, that I could start seeing people probably pushing for that Crawford rematch, because that would probably be the biggest fight that could be made for that belt. Unless, obviously, if Charlo decides, if they can get their act together and, maybe they can get that fight, because obviously I think, especially with the rivalry between Crawford and Charlo, I think that would be a great selling fight in its own, especially with the trash talking. And, even though we think Charlo has done some idiotic things and he didn't really look good against Canelo, and we all think that he kind of like just, went out pretty embarrassing in that fight. I think we still hold him in high regard in that 154 weight class. He's still technically the champ in some people's eyes. You know what I mean? So, you could also have the possibility of that. But, we know with the Charlos, man, it's very inconsistent on where they're at mentally. You know what I mean? So, they got a lot of demons that they're fighting amongst each other and within themselves. So, but back to Errol, I would love to see him maybe take a tuna fight, maybe 2 for this year, and just kind of rebuild himself back up, rebuild his confidence back up, get back into the flow of boxing, get back into the flow of training. He still needs to figure out who his next trainer is going to be. That's another big decision that he needs to make. So just go in at a strategic pace, man. I don't think he needs to rush into anything. If he does it right, I think he'll definitely get another championship fight. He still has a strong backing with his fan base. Cris, me and you see it every fucking day. So obviously that fan base is not going anywhere. Obviously he's still going to be, which is respect. Like I'm not mad at that. I said me and you both root for Errol Spence. If it's not against Terrence Crawford, we're going to root for Errol, man. We want to see him be successful. So we're going to be right behind him too, no matter whatever his next fight is. I'm going to be rooting for Errol Spence, man. I want him to bounce back. I just hope he does it in a smart way.
Yeah, I agree. Just 1 or 2 tune-up fights, and just to test yourself, see if you're still back mentally. Like I said, we seen it before. Fighters, they get knocked down, they get beat up bad like that. They're never the same.
They come back too fast. They come back too fast, and then they're never the same.
Yeah. So hopefully this year, off and him, stepping away from boxing helped him out.
Yep.
All right, man, let's talk about movies. The new Joker 2 movie trailer dropped. I'm going to be honest with you, brother. I wasn't excited for this movie going into it. Once they said it was musical, I was out. Yeah. I'm out. I'm sorry. Then I saw the trailer, and it didn't change my mind. I'm not going to see this movie.
It didn't change your mind? Look, obviously, when they announced that they were going to have... First, it was kind of announced like this whole thing was going to be a musical, and I was definitely like turned off by that. Like, I really don't want to see Joaquin Phoenix do a Broadway show with a Joker costume. I don't want to see it. But then obviously I saw an interview they did with the director of this film, and they said they're gonna have elements of kind of like them doing sing-alongs and shit, but for the most part it's still gonna have the same elements of the old movie. I get it. You got Lady Gaga. I thought Lady Gaga, as far as like the way she looked as Harley Quinn, I thought the costume and the way they look and the makeup, it looked kind of underwhelming to me, especially when she was going up the steps. I don't know if you remember that part. It looked kind of underwhelming to me. There were aspects of the trailer where it seemed like there was going to be some action in it. You know what I mean? I really dig the way they did it when she, she was talking through him through the mirror, through the glass. And then, she said she wanted to see his true side. And then she put the little red makeup on the glass, and he kind of get over there and you kind of saw the smile. I thought that was a cool little thing. Um, I get with the Lady Gaga thing. They're gonna have some kind of singing shit. I'm still gonna hold out a little hope for it. I don't have the highest expectations for this, so I'm not gonna go in with high expectations. I'm still probably gonna go watch it. Maybe I'll do the matinee where the tickets aren't as expensive, but I'm gonna give it a shot, man. I'm a big Joaquin Phoenix fan. I know some people weren't really a fan of the Joker that he did. I kind of liked it. I like the different aspect of the way they did it. You know what I mean? As far as like you looking at him and kind of like the way he became mentally broken to become the Joker. It definitely gets you thinking about the whole mental aspect of you see the natural way that a person mentally breaks and turns into something that they originally were not. You know what I mean? So I thought that was a really good aspect of it. So I'm gonna hold out a little bit of hope for it. The trailer did look good. I thought the way it shot it looked good. It's just I gotta see how they integrate the singing shit. You know what I mean? I gotta see how they integrate the musical shit. Like, is it corny? Is this gonna be like a High School Musical type of feel? Or does it fit? You know what I mean? I really don't know. So I'm gonna give it a shot, man. I'm always gonna root for Joaquin Phoenix. He's one of my favorite actors, so I'll give it a shot. But low expectations.
Yeah,
low
this is definitely a different take on Harley Quinn too,
Mhm.
because we all know if you watch Batman, Harley Quinn was a psychiatrist in
Yeah.
Arkham,
Yeah.
and she fell in love with the
Mhm.
Joker. She was so enamored by him, and he
Mhm.
played the mind tricks on her, and yeah, that's how she became the Harley Quinn that we all come to know and love. So
Yeah.
this is a different take. She like she's a patient in there with him.
Mhm.
So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I said low expectations, but I'll still give it a shot though. It come out when? October?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You can let me know how it is.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
All right, man. Let's do our bet us surefire picks.
Okay. I'll go ahead and start. So I got a cool three. So obviously with UFC 300 coming up, I got a fight. I'm gonna take Max Holloway money line plus 120. I'm a big Max Holloway fan. He going against Justin Gaethje, so I'm gonna go rock with him. Tomorrow I think there's only one NBA game tomorrow, so I got the Pelicans money line. I like that pick, and then I also like the Royals money line tomorrow. So I'm gonna take them too. The Royals been playing pretty good.
They're on a 6-game winning streak, baby. Woo!
Yeah, it's your team, man. I see it.
I'm also gonna take the Royals on the money line. Watch they fucking lose tomorrow. But I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Royals on the money line. Well, let me go over to the NBA. Oh, there's only one game tomorrow.
Yeah, it's one game. Yeah.
I actually like the Pelicans.
Yep. I took the Pelicans too.
Yeah, I like the Pelicans. And let's see hockey, because I don't know nothing about no MMA. What's the name play tomorrow?
Golden Knights got their asses whooped tonight, boy. Man, not looking good.
No.
Nah, I think they lost like 5-1 or something.
Let me get the Dallas Stars, man.
Okay. Dallas Stars.
Get the Dallas Stars, man. Those are our best. Shout out to Bet Us, man. Go to our Twitter page and our YouTube channel. You can see the link to the Bet Us app. Put join 125. These are only for new users. The first deposit, you get 125% betting. It was 125% towards your signing bonus towards your betting first deposit. There's 3 risk-free bets, and you get 10% betting insurance, gambling insurance. So shout out to BetUs. All right, man. Let's talk about the Cowboys, man. So there's speculation that the Cowboys might be drafting a quarterback. With the uncertainty of Dak Prescott going forward, they're not coming up with an extension for him. there's a possibility they could be drafting their quarterback of the future,
Mm-hmm.
and it could be in the early rounds. Maybe a Spencer Rattler. Maybe if a Michael Penix Jr. drops out of the first round, they go get him in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
One of those type deals. So, how do you feel about that? What's your thoughts on that?
Obviously, it kind of looks like the writing's on the wall with Dak Prescott. It seems like, if not this year, if they don't try to trade him this year, that it seems like next year it doesn't seem like he's going to be a Dallas Cowboy. Obviously, there are a lot of teams that do need a quarterback, so I think Dak Prescott's, he would definitely be highly sought out for. I know me and you kind of had a conversation with somebody that we work with. I look, I get Dak Prescott gets a lot of hate. I think a lot of that comes with him wearing that star on his helmet. But I don't think Dak Prescott is a bad quarterback. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's been really consistent. He's been one of the top passers in the game for probably the last couple years. If you have him in fantasy, he's been one of the best fantasy quarterbacks the last 3-4 years. So I'm kind of curious to know what with this situation with the Cowboys possibly drafting a quarterback in the early rounds. Do you think they go ahead and trade Dak Prescott during the draft if they decide to go this route? Let's say they decide to trade up and try to get into the at least 10s or the top 10 in a situation. Do you think they go ahead and try to trade Dak and maybe try to get to a third, second, try to trade him to the New England Patriots to get to number 3 or something like that?
Of course. Yeah. Of course. If they want to get up there, they're going to have to do that.
Yeah.
And whoever team that drafts him is going to have the money, and New England has the money to give him an extension, and he'd be the quarterback of the New England Patriots, which will be smart for the Patriots because now they don't have to worry about a learning curve with a young quarterback.
True, speeds up the process of them winning.
Yeah. And now, now it depends on how much draft capital they give up. Now, if they're giving up Dak, I figure they're just going to give up Dak and get up to the first round and just swap first round picks probably. So then in the second round, you probably have to get, another young wide receiver, to go with CeeDee Lamb. Now that's the interesting part. Are you gonna who out of CeeDee Lamb and Michael Parsons are you gonna re-sign?
Well, I think your ultimate goal is to re-sign both of them.
But do they have the money for all that? That's the question.
They're gonna have to find the money for him because I think CeeDee Lamb is too important on that offensive side. I think we've seen that. He's definitely a top 5. He's definitely a top 5 receiver the way he's been playing.
He's gonna want that.
Yeah, and then Michael Parsons, man, he's technically kind of like a generational type of player. You know what I mean? Like you can't let him.
And there's already been reports on him that the people in Dallas, his welcome is wearing thin. So
look, listen here. Listen. If they are willing to let go of Micah Parsons, my God. What do you think would be the trade value for Michael Parsons? What do you think you could get for Michael Parsons if they decided to trade Michael Parsons?
You can get a first and a third. I think it's a first and a third for him. I don't think it's a big haul.
I'm not saying it'll be like a haul, like if Josh Allen were to come out and get traded. I'm not saying that. Obviously, it's two different things, but I think you can at least get a first and a second, maybe even 2 firsts. I think so. With Michael Parsons, I think you might be able to.
I think his price is first and third.
I just think Michael Parsons, he's a game changer, bro. I just think he is. He changes. He'll change a defense.
Is he though?
I think he is. Could you imagine if Michael Parsons went to like the Chargers, or if he went to fucking your team and he added that depth with Chris Jones?
He ain't coming up.
I'm just saying, look at the hypothetical. Or you
that would be great.
Or you add him like shit. Like I would love him to come to the Raiders. You add him to the Raiders. I think he fit a Raider kind of mentality. Or even if you added him to, let's say, obviously you wouldn't want to trade him within the division. So you would have to take out the Redskins and the Eagles and the Giants. You would have to take him out. But if you were to put him on, like, let's say the Green Bay Packers or the Minnesota Vikings,
he'd be definitely a different maker.
Or even the Seattle Seahawks. Like,
he'd be a definite game changer for all of those defenses.
Like, they would never trade him to the Niners. That would be a hell no. They would never do that shit. But even let's say like the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, they need some depth over there. You know what I mean?
They don't have no money.
They don't have no money, but obviously, I don't see them trading Michael Parsons this year. So obviously, you get a couple years, to try to get more cap space with obviously Von Miller will probably come off the books here in the next year or two.
Yeah.
Where do you think would be the perfect fit for Michael Parsons if he were to get traded?
Pittsburgh.
Everybody always wants to play everybody on fucking Pittsburgh. Why?
I'm being real, man. Pittsburgh.
Oh my God, Pittsburgh.
Or the Rams. I see the Rams. The Rams would be perfect for him. He'd be a replacement. He wouldn't be he wouldn't be Aaron Donald, but sack wise, he would make up.
He would get that attention. I think he would get that attention, kind of like an Aaron Donald. Obviously, Aaron Donald was different. My man was just a man amongst boys. You know what I mean? But you can get that explosiveness off the edge for sure.
And you could do so much stuff for Michael Parsons, move him around, and so I think Michael Parsons on the Rams would be nice.
So, who do you think would be the perfect fit for Dak if he were to get traded?
Your team,
the Raiders,
or our Minnesota. New England is intriguing. I could see him in New England.
If you're the Miami Dolphins, would you consider it?
I would think about it. I think he's better than Tua. I don't think he's as limited as Tua.
No, I don't think so. And then you have the escapability as far as like escaping out of the pocket. I don't think Tua's really good at that.
With those weapons,
yeah. I would throw it look, I know I was just talking shit about Pittsburgh, but I'll throw in Pittsburgh too because it seems like they're willing to throw in multiple quarterbacks in there and try to figure out which one will fucking work.
I think they have a plan. Russell Wilson being the guy, and then Justin Fields stepping in there.
You know what team I could see Dak also playing for? I could also see him maybe playing for the Seahawks. Situation too. If I had to guess one more team, I could also see the Vikings. I could see the Vikings too. You know what I mean? You add him into that division, you know what I mean? With those weapons that Minnesota has, man, I think you could make that work.
Let's see, you got Tampa Bay, they got a quarterback. Carolina got a quarterback.
They kind of got a quarterback.
Atlanta got a quarterback.
We got to see if homie survives this year.
Atlanta has a quarterback. Who else?
Atlanta has a quarterback. Obviously, if you look at NFC North, Minnesota doesn't have a quarterback.
New Orleans would be interesting.
With Derek Carr.
Get them the fuck out of here.
Yeah, honestly, man, I got a lot of homies who are Saints fans, bro. They are not. They cannot stand Derek Carr. I tried to tell them. You know what I mean?
You can't stay healthy.
You can't stay healthy, and then ever since that ankle injury, bro, where he broke his ankle, man, he's not the same in the pocket no more, man. I don't think he has that same kind of lust to be in there. You know what I mean? He has them happy feet, man. He gets scared when people dive around his ankles.
Yeah, that's crazy. We'll see, brother. Draft is in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
All right, man. Let's get a little more serious. Jason Derulo, man.
I have no idea what's going on with this, so you have to explain to us what's going on.
Sex scandals lawsuit. So musician Emma Gibson alleges that Jason Derulo said to be successful in the music industry, she would have to partake in goat skin and fish scales. Haitian reference to conducting sex rituals, sacrificing a goat blood, and doing cocaine. Now, followed this young lady. She used to do a lot of stuff with her sisters back in the day. Now she's a solo artist, and supposedly she was going to be signed to Jason Derulo's company. I don't know if he has a label or production company or whatever. But she claims that he was having a lot of sexual advances towards her and trying to always take her out. And she would tell him no.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he texted her this one time, like, you got to perform this type of stuff. Now, Jason Derulo has come out and, of course, debunked all this stuff. Did a video. I heard it on the Joe Budden podcast. It didn't sound really sincere. But, yeah, sounds crazy. What is your thoughts?
Man, honestly, bro, I have no thoughts. I think this shit is crazy. I think this shit is wild. This goat shit,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, that's some kinky ass shit to me. Hey, man, I'm speechless on that one, bro. I really don't have nothing to say. I'm usually not speechless. Thoughts and prayers, man. That's all I can fucking say, dog. That is wild as shit, bro. That shit's crazy. Like, what the fuck do you need goat blood for?
This industry is weird, brother.
That shit's crazy, man. That sound like some like you sacrificing Illuminati type shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's some wild shit, bro. Like Jason Derulo, man. Like, hey, Cat Williams is right, bro. Like, motherfuckers in 2024 are getting reamed at this motherfucking point, bro. Yeah, we haven't made it till fucking May yet. Like, we're still in April. Like, we still got a long year left to go, man. So
yeah, it's crazy out in these streets. So, yeah, prayers to this young lady. Hopefully she gets everything, that she, is suing this man for, if there's all these, allegations
are true. Yeah.
I hope she gets everything to the fullest extent. So this is nasty work right here.
Crazy.
All right, let's go back to boxing, man. Boots Enos has signed with Eddie Hearns, Matchroom Promotions. He was doing fights under. Now, supposedly he wasn't signed to PBC, but he was doing fights under PBC.
Okay.
And he was getting advice from Stefan Espinoza, who also used to run Showtime Boxing, and of course Al Heyman. But now he has went over to Eddie Hearns. And one thing I know about Eddie Hearns, he will get this kid some fights. Say what you want about Eddie Hearns. Say what you want to say about his own and how trash their app is. But he keeps his fighters active. That's one thing he will do. Now, I'm speculating because Conor Ben did put this on his Instagram. So I think he knew this was coming down the pipeline. He put him versus Enos on his Instagram. Now, we all know Conor Ben is a little controversy. He had the steroid allegations. Now, he's since then passed those allegations, and he just had a recent fight. He looked okay in it. You know what I'm saying?
He looked all right.
He won. But I do think that I wouldn't be surprised if they are trying to set this up for a title fight. I don't know if they'll probably do this. They'll probably do it with Eddie Hearns. It'll probably be over in Dubai. But what are your thoughts of Mr. Boots Enos fighting on Matchroom?
I'll say this: like, if it's some situation where he's fighting in Dubai all the time, I don't like it. I just don't think you being over in Dubai really helps you becoming a star. Especially with the timing of these fights and all that. It's just not a lot of eyes going to be on that. And I just don't think Americans who you need to be paying attention to these fights, they're not going to pay attention. And I don't think it really helps them globally either. You know what I mean? But besides all that, I think good for him. You know what I mean? I think this will give him a chance to be, as you said, more active. As you said, Eddie Hearns tends to get his fighters, they're not fighting just once, twice a year. They're potentially fighting 3, maybe 4 times a year if they can do it right with, the scheduling. So, you know, if it's Boots Ennis versus Conor Ben, obviously I would probably have Boots as the favorite. You know what I mean? Like as you said, like, you know, Conor Ben, he looked okay. I wasn't really too impressed with his fight, but for the most part, you know, I think he didn't fight for, how long did he didn't fight for? Like at least 2 years?
Yeah, something
like 2 years, something like that. So obviously it's tough, you know, coming back after a 2-year layoff, you know. So, you know, I think any boxer is tough. So, you know, for him to at least get the win, he looked strong early in the rounds, but as it went on, you know, he kind of like slowed down a little bit. So you kind of expected that. But you know, I'm just excited to see the next iteration of Boots' career. Obviously, you know, well known. He's trying to become more of a star. He's trying to fill in that gap that, you know, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford have left. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, his ultimate dream was probably to get that Terrence Crawford fight, the winner of the Terrence Crawford Errol Spence fight. But, you know, with both of those fighters moving up, it's looking more unlikely unless, you know, he decides to move on up, which I don't see him happening. I think he needs to control his division right now. And then potentially maybe in a couple of years, you know, if he's able to dominate that and there's no fighters, then move on up and just, you know, test what you want to. I think you would deserve it. I think you would have every right to do it. But no, I'm just excited to see what next fight he gets and seeing if he become a well-known star, man. I think Boots Ennis has all the talent in the world, man, to, you know, for people to gravitate towards him. You know what I mean? So we just got to see if Eddie Hearn can make it happen.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think it's a possibility he gets the Crawford fight? Especially with Crawford not being a free agent right now.
I think it's still kind of tough because I don't think Terrence Crawford wants to go back. You know, Terrence Crawford's ultimate goal is to get the Canelo fight. I think that's his ultimate goal. He wants to have that fight before he fucking retires. But, you know, at this point, we're at the point, like, who is Terrence Crawford really going to fight that's going to help him sell a pay-per-view? I think Terrence Crawford can sell a pay-per-view on his own, but I just don't think he'll do the numbers that he would want it to do. You know what I mean? So I just think it's tough right now. You know what I mean? As I said, like, Tim Tszyu ain't fighting this year. Fedora ain't fighting this year. We don't know what's up with Charlo. We don't want to see the Errol Spence fight, but you know what I mean? Like, I think that fight would still sell a lot, you know what I mean? Just based on them two names alone. And I think people would be very curious to see how that fight turns out in a higher weight class. And, you know, with kind of like the rest that Errol Spence has gotten, like, I think me and you both would agree that I think it would be the same result. But, you know, some people have other hopes for it, you know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see, man. Maybe it looks like it's aligning to where Terrence Crawford may have no other choice but to fight Boots and take that fight. So, you know, we'll see. What about you? Do you think it's possible?
No, I don't think it's possible.
Okay.
Unless he moves up and starts chasing him, I don't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a long shot. I think Boots needs to just stick to 147 and fight the guys that are in the 147 division. If it's Conor Ben he got, then that's cool. That, like I said, there's it was his name, Emis Stannis. He's about to fight, I think this next weekend on the what's the name card or this
on
weekend.
the Ryan Garcia card.
Yeah, I think he's on that card.
Okay,
well, he's on somebody else's card, but he's I know he's fighting soon. That's definitely a fight that I could see him taking. He already said he wanted to fight that dude in the first place, so that's a possible fight. Somebody like a Mario Barros, that's another guy. I know he has a fight coming up too. I think he's on the Canelo card, I think.
Okay.
But he's another 147 guy. I think he's actually going to be fighting for a belt on that card. So that's another guy. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah. Definitely going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know what's wrong with my computer right now. My computer is freezing up. Bump it. Let's talk about Drew Holiday, man.
Okay. Let's do it.
So Drew Holiday just signed a contract extension for 4 years, $135 million.
Mhm.
He was traded from the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, I know Drew Holiday has been he's been in the league for a minute now. He's really pretty good, point guard, plays really good defense, can score when he needs to. Uh, thoughts on this contract extension?
I'm just curious where the Celtics keep getting all this bread from. You know what I mean? Like you just paid Jaylen Brown. You still gotta pay Jason Tatum. He probably gonna get $60 million a year. You got Kristaps Porzingis. You got Al Horford. I think you just re-signed Derek White to an extension. Uh, I don't know how much cap space they got. So I'm like, hell, with the Lakers, man, we got Anthony Davis and LeBron, and we can barely sign anybody else. Like, it's crazy. So, but overall, man, good for the Celtics, man. You know what I mean? Like, the Celtics have been dominant all year. Drew Holiday has been a big proponent to that, especially on the perimeter defense. When you got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Derek White, like, it's just waves after waves after waves on the defensive side. They could switch anything. Drew Holiday is a big piece that's missing from the Bucks. You know what I mean? He was a big proponent, you know what I mean? So, that's with them making that trade, it kind of set up the domino effect of him going to the Celtics, and now he can be a deterrent to Giannis and the Bucks, for a while, you know what I mean? So, when Giannis begged for the Bucks to make moves, you know what I mean, it just made his rival even stronger. So, shout out to Drew Holiday. I'm glad he got his bag, man. Seems hell of a player. Seems like a really good dude. So, and shout out to him. I just don't know how the Celtics keep finding all this money.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, good for him, man. Uh, we all knew that Drew Holiday, what he represents, and I know he's doing really good with the Celtics, and I'm glad they took care of him. And like you said, I don't know where they printing all this money up at, but hey, if they feel like they can pay him, go on and do your thing, man.
Do your thing, man. I ain't mad. I am mad because I'm a Laker fan, but still.
Yes. Yeah.
Man.
All right, man. You got anything else? Any open conversation?
Honestly, man, nah, not really, man. I think we covered everything, man. I know it's been a long day for the both of us, so.
For sure. My computer is tripping, so it won't let me get back into the StreamYard thing. So just go ahead and give it up to Glitch Energy, man.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Glitch Energy. They've been rocking with us for a minute. Glitch Energy drink offers a wide range of delicious flavors to suit everyone's taste preferences, whether you're into fruity flavors like Maui Punch, Cherry Bomb, Blue Smurf, grenades. There's something for everyone. Glitch Energy drink is not only for gamers and workout warriors, but also for everyday people who simply need a boost of energy. It's a healthy choice that you can feel good about. You can find more information and purchase Glitch Energy drink at glitchenergy.com. Remember to use the promo code CrisStyleMall to get 10% off your purchase and to start enjoying these great and delicious drinks, man. So shout out to Glitch. They've been supporting us for a minute, man. Make sure y'all use that promo code, man. Save some bread.
Yeah, for sure. And whatever streaming platform you use to listen to this podcast, whether it be whether it be Apple, Google, Amazon, Stitcher, whatever you use to listen to your podcast, the Cris Mall podcast is available on there. Mm-hmm. And your first time watcher on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification button. So when we go live on Mondays at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9:30 on Wednesdays at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, you can tap in with us, jump in the comments, talk about these topics with us. Yeah, man, be a part of the podcast because we want you guys to be a part of this experience just as much as we are.
Yes, sir.
And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you use to do your social media on, Cris Mall is available. Go ahead and follow us. We'll follow you back. We're just guys who like to talk about sports, music, the entertainment business, anything, real life stuff. If you have a topic, feedback, critique, question you want to bring to us, if we like it, we will bring it up on the show and we will shout you out on the show.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? Hit us up, man. We want to interact with you guys. We want to give y'all the best podcast content that we can give you, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the show for you guys, and we do this show for you guys to be entertained. So
yeah.
So yeah, man, go on and do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then until next time, man, we are out.
Peace, y'all.